Crazy Josh Cravey, this was a very unexpected yet pleasant surprise to actually see you asking me questions, and they were pretty tough questions. So I'm going to do the very best I can to answer those questions. What I'm going to do is I'm going to play your video, and after you ask each question, I'm going to try my best to answer the question. I may end up answering questions that you don't even ask. So this could be more interesting than you think. So let's get into this. Alright, here's question number 1.
My first question is, Speedlearner, you have your camera that I can almost always see in the reflection of your glasses. What camera is it, and what type of camera is it, and how high of quality can it shoot?
Okay, to answer that question, I have a Kodak Easy Share camera. Now, you have to keep in mind, when I first started my YouTube channel, I had a 7 megapixel Kodak Easy Share camera. Now I have a 12 megapixel Kodak Easy Share camera. As for the resolution, I really don't know. To be honest with you, I really don't know. The reason for that is that I didn't actually read the instruction book, and I don't know where the instruction book is anymore. To be honest with you, I really don't. I wish I did. But it is definitely a 12 megapixel Kodak Easy Share camera. It has a rechargeable battery, and I actually had to buy new batteries because I've been using them so much, and I'll tell you about that later. But that's pretty much it. And if I ever find the instruction book, I'll give you the higher specs on this thing. I probably should have done this in this video, but you asked a lot of good questions, so I'm just going to go ahead and move on to the next one. So hang on.
Next question. In a lot of your older videos, most of your older videos, you're in a completely different spot in your room, but where your TV is sitting on that desk or the table or whatever it is that in front of where you used to shoot your videos? Because it looks like it is, so if you could say yes or no on that, it'd be cool. Next.
Okay, the reason why that in my older videos everything looked like it was in a completely different room, because it was in a completely different room. Yes, in the year 2011, I actually moved from one house to the next, and so what you were seeing in my earlier videos was my old house, and what you're seeing now is my new house. And that's why it looks very different. But as you will be able to see it, I'm going to pan the camera here. That's the chest of drawers you used to see in my old room. That's the television set. I still have my Sirius XM radio, although I don't have it active anymore. I just simply couldn't afford the $14.95 a month for the subscription, so I had to drop that. But the bookcase you saw in my old room, there it is. There's the bookcase. So, yes, I was in a completely different room. Okay.
Next question. Would you mind sort of picking up your camera and turning around your room? I think it'd be interesting to see where you do your videos, and yeah. Next.
Okay, I'll be happy to do that for you. Now just bear with me. This over here is my wall, and as you can see, there's my bed, and yes, I do have my books on my bed. I have a lot of books, as you'll plainly see, and as you can see, there's my bookcase right there. I have a little cabinet there, and later in the video, you're going to talk about my window this is my curtain here. Right, what's behind this curtain is a great big window, and if I open that thing up, man, I get so much light in here, I wouldn't be able to sleep in here at all. So that's why I put the great big curtain up here. It was for privacy, and more importantly, it was to keep that much light because, if I recall correctly, that's the western horizon, I think it's either the western, maybe that's the eastern horizon. I can't remember, but I get a ton of light in here, especially first thing in the morning. Even through the curtain, I get that much light. Can you imagine having that window open? I wouldn't be able to get a wink of sleep. Okay, now if we go on here, as you can see, there is my chest of drawers. There's my television set. Over here, whoa, let's get back up here. That's my closet. And this is the bag I use. Whoops. That's the bag I use. I often look like Mr. Spock when I take this bag with me on my Looking for Lincoln trips. This is the bag I use to take my camera and my cell phone and also my music player. Alright, and this is my computer desk, as you can see. Let's lift this up. This is you can see stuffed animals up here. This is some extra light I have to make my videos because my room is not as well lit as I'd like for it to be. TV remote there. Other books and stuff like that. That's the actual camera I used on my parade. Remember I did that Razzle Dazzle Good Time Parade this year? That's the camera I used. I only really have one camera besides that one, and I don't want to take my good camera out and get it broke. That's why I took the other one. So, and as you can see, there's my computer monitor, more books. They kind of make a stand for me so I can use my tripod. There is my split key keyboard. Look at that. And as you'll see, there's a TV tray down here, and right underneath the TV tray is my computer, as you can plainly see right down there. Alright, now let me set things back up here and make myself comfortable so I can answer the rest of your questions. There. That is much better. Okay, let's go on with this.
Next question, what type of computer do you have? Obviously it's not a Mac because when you've shown it, it's got like the Windows stuff. But what type of computer is it? What year did you get it? And is it one of the ones you put together by yourself?
Okay, if you will remember when I did my video, Build a New Computer, I showed you people how to build two computers, one of which I installed Windows 7. Well, that is the same computer I'm using right now. I took a Hewlett-Packard case and a Hewlett-Packard motherboard. I put in my own hard drive, my own RAM, my own graphics card, my own power supply, and that's what I built. So yes, that computer that was featured in those videos was the one I built and I still have. Okay? And if you'll take a look at the date on those videos, you will know exactly when I built that computer.
Next question. You've talked about this a little bit in some of your other videos, but who do you live with? I know it's an older sibling, but is it your brother, your sister? Whose idea was it to get the joint thing? Where you're both paying for parts of the house? Like, what's the story behind that? And if I have some of those facts wrong, I mean, straighten me out. I'd love to know all the facts.
Okay, when my sister and I graduated from high school, we both came to the realization that unless we ended up getting into massive debt, which neither one of us wanted to do, we would have to pool our finances to pretty much live in the same house, which worked out great for both of us. We were both working retail at the time, and it just worked out great for both of us. It really did. And I had no problem with it because I had my own section of the house and she had her own section. So it really worked out great for both of us. Now, when I got into this YouTube business, and I tell you what, this YouTube is a business. I am not kidding you. It is a big business, okay? And between doing all the research and having to do all this other stuff, reading all this email and the whole 9 yards, now you got to keep in mind, I work 35 hours a week in retail. I do freelance data processing, and then on top of that I do all this YouTube stuff. Wow, that's a mother load right there. Well, my mother got to the point where she was retiring, and I needed an assistant. I really did. I really needed one bad. And so I told her that she could live with us, with my sister and I, so that she could help me with the operations of this YouTube channel. And so she helps me do some of the research, and she helps me try to answer some of the emails so that I am not completely overwhelmed with this YouTube channel. Because this thing is one thunder of a business. I cannot tell you. It didn't take long to get overwhelmed. I cannot tell you just how fast it happened. So the more viewers you get, the more overwhelmed you're going to get. You will have no idea until it actually hits you. So something for you to look forward to. You will definitely need an assistant, just as I do now. And Actually now, I actually have more than one assistant, okay? And sometimes my sister helps me out on this stuff too. So it's a pretty overwhelming situation. I cannot tell you. All right, let's go on.
Next question, what exactly is a freelance data processor? Because I googled it and I got some really weird results. Next question, now you've done one or...
Okay, a freelance data processor. What is a freelance data? Well, in ordinary data processing, you're put in a cubicle. And what you have basically is a dumb terminal. Now, I know today you have client computers, but back in the day you had dumb terminals that were all hooked up to a mainframe. Well, now it's client computers hooked up to a server. But either way, that's where you work. Well, the thing is, I couldn't find work as a data processor in my town because so few places have those kind of labs, and the ones that they do, they're already staffed with as many people as they'll ever need. Okay? So what I do is I do local freelance where people will bring me statistics or other types of data, and I will process it in the way I learned how to do it. I can write software, I can use databases, whatever I need to do to process that information to give back to them. So when you look up data processing, look up how we do our stuff, then you can see, you know, I will find a local business here and there, and they'll need some sudden statistics or whatever. They're not a very big business, so they can't really afford a big time data processor, so they'll just kind of hire me on the side, and that's what I do. Okay, the work is very scarce. Not very many people can afford to have that kind of stuff done. Sometimes they try to do it on their own, and then it becomes a big mess, and then they ask me to figure it out. But like I said, they'll give me statistical data or some other type of data, or even research. They'll ask me to do research, and I'll do research for them. But like I said, it's kind of a hit-miss thing. Some people work with me, and some people don't, and some people just can't afford it. But it does give me a better chance at a reputation, a good reputation, mind you. So sometimes I do it for reputation, sometimes I actually do it for cash. But it's just hit and miss freelance work that I get to do from time to time. So anyway, I hope that answered your question.
Two of these in the past. Christmas and Crisis is the only one that comes to my mind when I think of it, but have you ever thought of doing some more sketchy type videos? I mean, obviously you need to have your informative videos for people facing eviction, starvation, and bullyism. That's what it is. Anyway, have you ever thought of doing some more sketchy type videos? Next question.
I have, but you have to keep in mind how overwhelmed I am. Okay, we got freelance data processing work. We've got 35 hours a week in retail, and then we've got, on top of all that, all this YouTube stuff. It's overwhelming. I cannot tell you by how much. Yes, I would like to do more sketches. Maybe as I talk to you, maybe we can create some sketches for me, and maybe I can start doing them. Definitely we want to keep the channel more focused on education than entertainment, because if people get this idea that we're nothing but entertainment, they won't learn from me, and I don't want that. I want the primary focus of this channel to continue to be education. But yes, I do need to do a few more sketches, and I probably will. So maybe we can work together on this, and we can come up with something, and that would be great. So let's go ahead with the next question.
Those drapes or curtain or whatever it is behind you, what is behind that? Is it a window? Just a wall? Yeah, and speaking of which brings me on to my next question.
Okay, well, now you know what it is. It definitely has a great big window, and it would let in so much light that I wouldn't be able to sleep. That's why we have the curtain.
How many stories does your house have? And if it has more than one, how many? And which one are you on?
Okay, I live in a one-story house. So no, there's no big spiral staircase or anything like that. So yes, half the house is mine, half the house is my sister, and like I said, my mother does lodge with us, but only because I need an assistant for this YouTube channel. I need it so bad, you have no idea. So that it's for her helping me, I let her lodge here. And it works out great for the both of us. So let's go on.
Next question, is that indeed your bedroom, or is it just an office? Like, what's the story behind that? Next question.
Yes, it indeed is my bedroom. Really, there's not a lot of room in this house, so I really couldn't make an office. But yes, it is definitely my bedroom. So, hope that answered your question there.
How long have you lived in that house? Next question. What?
Alright, I already told you that I've been living here since 2011, and the videos prior to that were in the old house.
What type of glasses do you have? Me personally, I have Ray-Bans. I very much like Ray-Bans, and that's just the type of glasses I have.
Okay, I work in a photo lab, and so wearing plastic glass, well, you know, they say, well, plastic glasses, okay, that doesn't work in a photo lab. You have chemicals that are very volatile, and if they get on your glasses, yeah, that's pretty much a done deal. So I end up with pure glass lenses, and I have to order them specially through Eyeglasses Direct, and that's what I do. I just find some pretty decent frames from Eyeglasses Direct, put the glasses in there, and there you go.
Next question, how close are you to finishing the Finding Lincoln Memorial little search thing? Like, how many more of them do you have to find? And are you in some sort of association with the website? So yeah.
Okay, yes, I am in direct correlation with these people. This is the Looking for Lincoln Heritage Coalition, and yes, I work alongside of them. I'm promoting them, and they are promoting me. That's where the benefit comes from. We're promoting each other. Okay, this is going to be very, very important when we get to 2015 and they have the replica Lincoln funeral train come into Springfield. That's going to be a great big event, and they're kind of counting on me to draw the crowds in. As for how many signs I have left, okay, we have the sign. There's one sign that I have not gotten in Quincy, Illinois, one not gotten in Mount Pulaski, Illinois, and then all the signs from Macomb westward and northward. Okay, and that would include Macomb, Carthage, Fountain Green, La Harpe, Nauvoo, Dallas City, I believe it's Galesburg. They have a Knox College out there, and I haven't got that one yet either. There are two signs in Freeport and in Kent, Illinois. I have not grabbed either one of those. And then there are three signs clear down in Jonesboro and Anna, that Jonesboro-Anna era. I have not gotten those yet either. So we're talking roughly about 20 more signs. And I will send you a link to the map so you can see this all for yourself, and I'll help you see exactly where I've got to go.
Next question. Who are the YouTubers that you watch the most? I mean, personally, for me, it's people like Ray William Johnson, Speedlearner, Charlie is so cool like, and, you know, various others, but those are the ones I mainly watch. So which ones do you watch mainly?
I do watch Ray William Johnson, Hemi Jeep 19, Spricket 24, Crazy Josh Cravey, Boink the Clown, Adam of Adam's Life. If there was any content with Booball 1067, I would watch that as well, but I do read a lot of her commentary, so yes, I've watched that as well. Tecton TV. There are a few others. They don't exactly come to mind. Howie Reporting Live. That's another one. I do watch Pogobat from time to time. So, and yes, I have been watching Ashley Mardell and her Hey There 005 channel. So, yeah.
Next question. I don't know if you're aware of this, but you can get a 1 terabyte hard drive for only like $20, $30, or $40? And if you're aware of this, would you ever consider buying one so you had more room so you could upload your videos in HD like I do? That's what I had to do, because I was doing mine in low quality and I had to delete a bunch of others so I could upload them in even like 480p, but once I get my 1 terabyte hard drive, I can upload them in 720. Another question.
Okay. Well, right now I'm in the process of rounding up enough money where I can actually build another computer and eventually go into Windows 8. Say, whoa, you're going into Windows 8. Well, eventually I will. After that, yes, I will get a terabyte hard drive. Now, you have to keep in mind that when I'm making these videos, not only do I have to have enough storage space for the videos, but I also have to process them. The software I'm using is, well, for the low quality videos I use the Movavi video converter. It's MOVAVI video converter. If I have one of the high quality videos like the Relay for Life or some of these parades I've videotaped or the Christmas shows or even the Looking for Lincoln signs, I will use Nero. And that's what I use for that. And so hopefully that answers your question. But the thing is, you not only have to process these videos, and it takes longer if it's in 1080p. It really does. But on top of that, you then have to upload those videos. And yes, I am using Comcast as my ISP provider. But the thing is, even with that speed, it takes a while to load up these videos. So I took a suggestion from Adam's Life, and as soon as I build this new computer, here's what I'm going to do. I'm going to go through some of my older videos, and I'm going to make higher quality versions of those videos. And from this point forward, what I'm going to do is I'm going to post the information quickly with the low quality, and then later on I will take the time to remake the video in 1080p and load it up that way. Okay, and that would give me the time to do a proper formatting of it and a proper presentation, so on and so forth. I may start using SVG as soon as I master that to make some of my presentations, but that would be the way to do it. Because these people need the information so quickly, we want to get it out quickly, okay? And then later on, we can then revise the video, make it into a higher quality, and on top of that, make it to the point where it's super presentable. That way we keep the information flowing quickly, but then later on we upgrade it. So hopefully there you go.
I wanted to ask that I forgot earlier when I was recording it is what video editing software do you have? I personally use Movie Maker or iMovie. But what do you have? Do you have Movie Maker? Do you still have iMovie? So like what movie editing system do you have? And my final question, how do you decide which videos you're gonna make, when do you decide, like, I'm gonna make a video about this and this and this? You know, what's the process behind your video making? But yeah.
Wow, that is a loaded question. Well, the first thing is I have to first figure out one of the problems I run into is not so much what I learn, it's how I'm going to present it to all of you. Okay, because there are a lot of people out there that do not have the comprehension level that I do. Some do need to have the comprehension level that you do. They're way back into counting change. And I get this sometimes. Well, I thank you for telling us how to count change, because if it hadn't been for that, we wouldn't be employed right now. So a lot of times I have to not only learn the material, which I can learn rather quickly, but then try to figure out some way to teach it to all of you. Sometimes I have to stop on something because I have to order extra books. You say, well, man, you got lots of books. Yes, I do. But sometimes I have to order even more specific stuff to teach you all the things I need to teach you, and that's why I have to pause. That was the reason for my pause in trig identities. I have a book on the Cartesian coordinate system and how it was created, and it's on its way, and as soon as it gets here, I'm going to read it, and then I'm going to integrate that into my trig identities videos. Okay? The same thing with the accounting. There's a couple of accounting subjects I need to do more research on, and I don't have enough time right now to do it. As soon as I do, I'll do the research. There you go. Another reason I do the videos the way I do, my computer broke down. This gave me a great opportunity to tell you guys some of the things that you had never been told before. There you go. Another one is if somebody sends a letter to me and says I need to know something, I need to know it right away, then yes, I will go ahead and present that to you. Sometimes I will watch a video and I will find information in there that is so egregiously wrong that I feel I must address it and address it quickly. This happened with a video where there's this young couple and the guy decided to offer a very unusual wedding proposal. What he did was he put his soon-to-be fiancée in the back of an SUV, and while this SUV was going forwards slowly, there were these people that were dancing behind the SUV, and they were singing and dancing, and they were, you know, whatever. It was beautiful. It really was, except for one thing. They never showed this young lady getting securely fastened inside the vehicle. Had that vehicle come to a complete stop, she could have fallen out of that vehicle and she could have been seriously injured. And that's when I started raising the objection, because they never really showed her being securely fastened to the SUV before the SUV got driven off. And I felt that that should have been done. And my justification for that is they have these videos where they hoist a car onto a crane and then they drop the car from, say, 40, 50 feet with a couple of watermelons inside, and I will show you this. I'll actually put a link down here a little bit later to show you this, and you would not believe, just from 50 feet, how much damage can happen to a car. And then they say, well, the car, had it been actually traveling, would have been traveling about 20, 30 miles an hour, and this is what could have happened. So, yeah. So that's why I went after that. Another one was the Beauty Crush video. She was talking about shyness. Oh, it's okay to be shy. She never once mentioned about social anxiety disorder, and I'm sitting here going, if you don't tell these people about social anxiety disorder, how are they ever going to know whether this is a simple case of shyness or something a little more serious? And that's when I went immediately into action and was telling people this. The same thing happened when I discussed the mixture of acetone with chlorine bleach. That is a very nasty combination. Parents all over the world need to know about this stuff before they let their teenage daughters paint their nails and use that stuff. You know, I think you're going to get the idea here. If you don't know what I'm talking about, check out my video entitled Nail Polish Remover, and you'll see for yourself what I'm talking about. This information was never put on any beauty channel, and I don't know why. It's a very critical piece of information. Every parent should know this. So, those are the kinds of things that I'm thinking of. I often feel like I'm in a poker game and I have some kind of ace up my sleeve. There you go. Whew. Hopefully I answered all your questions. That was a lot of stuff. I might answer some of those questions a little more specifically in some upcoming videos, but I think you're finally getting an idea of what's going on around here. I like your room. It's kind of cool. I might ask you a few questions in the not-so-distant future. In the meantime, this is Ted the Speedlearner signing off. I will tell you more in a future video. Stay tuned.